Welcome to Remove Before Flight, where we help prepare veterans to start, grow, or scale a business. We are back with another episode of Remove Before Flight. This week we're changing it up a little bit due to it being Father's Day. First off, happy Father's Day to all the great dads out there. I took most of today and I spent it with my daughter Paige, hence the late release this week. So earlier today I was presented with a video from Paige that was pretty awesome. It was a photo slideshow covering pictures of the fun times her and I have had over the past 16 years. Best of all, she picked one of my favorite songs, Daughter by Pearl Jam, to play in the background. She went ahead and posted to Facebook where she tagged me in it so that I would notice it. Quickly, Facebook shut it down due to the song in the background. A quick white lie to them about us being authorized to use the music, and it was back online. So, if you're connected with me on Facebook, go check it out. It's posted to my wall. So I hope everyone is enjoying this beautiful day, and I do not want it to consume time from your family listening to me drag on about entrepreneurship and SEO and marketing and blah, blah, blah. So this week, we're going to take a little break from all of that, and I've got a guest here to help us learn a little more about the meaning behind Father's Day. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Paige to the show. Paige, tell us about Father's Day.
The very first Father's Day was celebrated on June 19th, 1910. One woman wanted to honor her father for not only being a Civil War vet, but for also being the single parent of 6 kids. She originally wanted to host the celebration on her father's birthday, June 15th, but her father's church couldn't get the sermon ready in time. The minister decided to push back the celebration until the following Sunday, and now it's known as the third Sunday of June as being Father's Day.
Paige, thank you for that brief history on Father's Day. It brings so much more value to the meaning behind it. So you've watched your father succeed and fail at several businesses over the years. What are your thoughts on entrepreneurship? Would you ever consider owning your own business, or are you scared away from it?
I think entrepreneurship is the vital part to our economy. I think without it, we would have never made progress. We'd still be stuck in caveman era. And as for owning my own business, I think I'd have to. Being 16 and getting into the world of working now, I find it increasingly difficult to have to not work for myself right out the gate. You have to start out with like an entry-level position and work for somebody else first, and I find that so frustrating. Because after seeing my father, his personality changes from when he's working for himself and when he's working for other people. He's just so much happier when he owns his own business and he's doing what he thoroughly enjoys and when he has control over everything.
Absolutely. I'd have to agree 100% with you. So what are some of the key takeaways you've learned by watching me with my business over the years?
Well, something that I think is the worst thing and the best thing when you have a business is having a big heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think in order to have a business, you have to have a big heart. Otherwise, you're evil corporate America, and you don't care about your clientele. But it can also be a downfall in your business because sometimes your heart can be too big.
So, if you were to explore entrepreneurship, what would you want to do? What kind of business would you want to own?
I personally have so many different interests that I think it would start out as one thing and it would turn into just this big collaboration of things. Like I could start out inventing a product and then it would turn into services with that product and then maybe inventing another product, and I just think it would take on a world of its own.
So would you just jump right in, or would you sit down and do the research and get your homework lined up to make sure that you knew who your customer was and what your product was and how you were going to make money? Or would you just say, hey, let's go try this?
I think for some things it's important to just jump right in, but when starting a business, I think it's always important to do your research. You need to learn your clientele, when and where to advertise, what your product key features are, and most importantly, where you're going to advertise.
Hey, I love that. You would think that we had coached this out and scripted. Nobody's going to believe that we're just sitting here freeballing these questions and answers. This girl is after my own heart. She's learned and watched what I do every day and what I try teaching others to do. So let's explore one of your ideas. What would you like to do if you wanted to do a business?
So one of my many business ideas, I get in weird moods where I just think of all these weird schemes, and one of them...
It's a true entrepreneur right there.
One of them that I think about a lot is different ideas for restaurants. And one that I've been playing around with the last couple of years is you go into the restaurant and you sit down. A waitress comes over to your table, and rather than asking you what you want to eat, she asks you what you're allergic to and any foods that you extremely dislike. She takes that to the chef, and the chef whips you up brand new to try, and it just gives you a new experience.
Nice. How did that idea come about?
Well, sometimes I know I'm hungry, but I don't know what I want, and I'm just really looking to try something new, and it's hard to just go into a restaurant and be like, hey, just throw something at me.
Nice. So let's take the reverse side of that. What are some potential roadblocks or failures that you might have in forming that type of business?
Well, obviously having supplies for everything, because you never know what you're going to make because you don't have a set menu. And also, some people may not like that because some people are like, I want this and I want it now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So how would you tackle having the supplies?
Well, I think I'd like to be close to a grocery chain. That way, if I needed to go get something real quick, like let's say I run out of a tomato, I can run over and get one or two really quick before I have to order it for my supply chain.
Nice. So you have it, your resources readily available, so if you need to run and grab something, you can get it. Nice. So who would be your typical customer? Describe them.
I think my typical customer would be adventurous people. The type of people you see travel to countries spontaneously,
Nice.
looking for new adventures.
Somebody willing to take a risk, try something new. Exactly. How would you go about advertising and marketing this business?
Well, obviously I'd market it to the area, but I'd market it to people who search for things about traveling and risk-taking opportunities, like people who look up skydiving, bungee jumping, all sorts of things.
Nice. So if you were to move forward with this business, your next phase would include some research. Where do you think you could gather some of the research for this type of concept?
Online, absolutely. I would reach out to different chefs and different psychologists about what people like and what they don't like.
That sounds like a very solid research concept and very time consuming. Are you willing to put that much time into this business effort?
Yes and no. I don't know if this will be an idea I pursue, but I'm sure out of the thousands I have, I'll pursue at least one of them.
Many entrepreneurs would just dive right in without doing that homework and research and ultimately maybe fail. Are you scared of that failure at all?
I'm not so much scared of the failure as I am trying to prepare for it. There are 1,000 things that can go wrong when you own a business, and the number one way to prevent that is doing your research ahead of time and taking preventative measures.
Okay, so let's think about this business through. You're going to be in a city environment or a rural setting. You're going to have to deal with local, town, and government regulations. How do you propose dealing with some of those regulations before you open to prevent yourself from having problems down the road?
Well, I'd look up the regulations, and I'd talk to any Congress members or anything like that I'd need to discuss the matters with.
Nice. So for years, you've traveled with me when one of my businesses took us on the road, and we were in various settings, various communities, and saw a lot of different things. You were exposed to a lot of different cultures inside different businesses. Have you thought about what kind of culture you would like inside your business?
I would like my business, no matter what it would be, to be in an open environment. I don't want people to feel that they need to be uptight inside my business. I want people to feel like it's home.
Nice. Yeah, nice and relaxing, be at home, feel comfortable, and spend money. Because we know without spending money, you won't make any money. If you don't make money, you're going to be closing them doors. So being a successful entrepreneur requires all kinds of skill sets. What would you think of as being the top 3 skill sets that an entrepreneur would need?
I think you need to be able to use the internet. You need to have technology skills because you need to be able to do research, you need to reach out to online clientele, and you need to keep in touch with any of your suppliers or anything like that that's on the internet.
Nice.
Number 2, I think you need to be a good speaker. I think you need to be able to interact well with your clientele, your customers, and your staff. And number 3, I think you need to be an honest and trustworthy person. You hear about in the news all the time, these crooks and scandalous people who make all this money, but they do it by hurting their clientele, and I just don't think that's the way a business should be run.
Absolutely. There's constant stories of people out there in all fashions, both entrepreneurship and people working for others that, steal from them, and they're dishonest or they take advantage of customers. And unfortunately, that's the society we live in. It's great to hear you bring that up as one of the values needed to be successful. All right, so you've done your research, you got your business up and running. How long do you think you should honestly stick with this idea before giving it up and chalking it up to either a success or failure?
Until the very end. Your business isn't failed until it's dead in the grave and you are just so depressed by the idea of even looking at your business. I don't care if your business, if you had to go out of business for a little while, it doesn't make you a failure. You can just be taking a break. It means you weren't prepared enough, but it teaches you a lesson and you can be more prepared for the next time.
Awesome. I can't believe you're my daughter and you're saying this. Really? You really do pay attention to what I do and what I say to others. All right, we promised our listeners we'd keep this short this week so that they could spend time with their family. So before we wrap this up and get out of here, if you were conducting this interview, what kind of questions would you ask?
I think you really need to get to the roots of the entrepreneur. I don't think you should just ask them about their business. I think you should ask them about them. Any good business has a good entrepreneur behind it.
Really? So then what is your definition of a good entrepreneur?
A good entrepreneur needs to love their mission, love their business, love their clients, love their staff, and most importantly, love themselves. If you're not happy with your business or any of those features within it, you have the power to change it, and that's what makes you an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. All right, so everybody that comes on this show gets asked the same question before they can leave, so I'm going to force you to answer it as well. If you could talk to anybody from any point in history, who would it be and why?
I want to talk to the first leader of the very first civilization. And of course, we don't know who that is historically, yet at least. I think it'd be interesting to understand the first people's point of view.
Nice. Yeah, I think there might be some little bit of difficulty trying to translate things that we do in today's society and world compared to what they had to deal with. But, it never hurts to go back into history and learn from those that were here before us. Alrighty, Paige, I'd like to thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for being my daughter. And best of all, thank you for that awesome video this morning. Alright, so for my listeners who have been fathers for a while, you understand what I'm about to say to those new dads out there. So, new dads, enjoy every precious moment you get with your children. They grow up fast. It feels like just yesterday I was bringing Paige home from the hospital, and now she's driving my car. Crazy, I know. But hey, it's Father's Day. Get out there, enjoy the time with your family. Before you go, let me mention one more time, we have an exciting opportunity for you to promote your business on the Change Your POV podcast network. We've been growing and expanding and bringing new shows to you, and this doesn't come without added expenses. Currently, all of our operating costs are covered by sponsors and our hosts. How would you like to hear your business advertised to over 7,000 people each and every month? Reach out to me, Kevin at pinktitech.com, and we'll discuss this opportunity to put your business on any one of the shows on this network. Join us again next week as we will bring back to you our regular interviews. Next week, we're going to be featuring Charlotte from Patriot Bootcamp. If you're not familiar with Patriot Bootcamp, it's an excellent opportunity to learn about what they offer and how it can help you as a veteran if you're in the tech sector and looking to start a business, grow a business. We'll also continue our SEO series, where we'll continue the second part of site layout, design, and structure. So please feel free to reach out to me anytime if you need any more information or you want to discuss any of the conversation that took place on today's show. You can check us out at changeyourpov.com/RBF007. All right, everybody, it's time to wrap up this show and get out of here. Life is short. Don't just dream, do. We will see you next week on Remove Before Flight. Thank you for listening.